Hi everyone, welcome to my next video. I received a comment the other day that was very interesting, and this person was asking me if I use oil lamps or lanterns in my cabin. And I had forgotten about a horrible experience I had using them about 5 years ago. And I thought this would be a good idea, a good topic to share what happened to me and why I think those things are so darn dangerous. Um, they sell them at Walmart, they sell them in hardware stores, and I know that people used them years and years ago. But I'm going to tell you what happened to me and what I think about a lot of the products that are available today, because I think there's a lot of things out there supposedly safe, yet I don't believe they're safe at all. So when I first bought my little cabin, I was really excited, of course, and I thought, I'm going to buy one of those really cool lanterns, lamps. I guess there's a difference between the two, but I bought the kind that you can theoretically use inside. And I was very careful to purchase, I believe it's highly processed kerosene that says right on the bottle, safe for indoor use. So I thought, well, this is cool. I can't wait to try this thing. Well, I, of course, tried it that very night. And I thought it was wonderful. It lit up my little cabin, and although I did have reservations about the damn thing tipping over, because how the heck are you going to put out a fire if that happens, right? So I set it way back on my table with a few things around it to make sure it couldn't possibly tip over. And I enjoyed it for about a week at night. But I started to feel my face getting itchy. And when I looked in the mirror, I had like a little bit of a rash going on all over my face. And I thought, well, that's funny. It's wintertime. Maybe it's just the dry air. I've never had anything like this happen before. So I got out all my lotions and my Noxzema, but my face just felt like it was on fire. Well, I could tell there was like a slight odor in the air, but then I thought, well, maybe that's normal because it does say right on the lantern and on the kerosene that it's safe for indoor use, right? So a couple weeks went by and my face just broke out in this horrible, horrible rash. So, of course, I'm not one to run to the doctor unless it's what I consider important. So I Googled it, and what I came up with was this term called, and I might not pronounce it correctly, but rosacea, something like that. And apparently there's no known cause, but I've never had anything like this happen to me before. I didn't know what it was. And I was, yeah, 65 back then, 64. Well, I kept thinking it would go away, and I just put Noxzema on my face and lotion, and then I wouldn't put anything on my face, thinking maybe that was making it worse. Well, my face just got so intolerably, unbearably painful, I couldn't stand it anymore, and I went to the doctor. Well, they didn't know what it was, and they thought it was this rosacea, whatever, but they couldn't tell me what caused it, and they gave me some ointment to put on, and I went home. But I had this gut feeling it had something to do with that damn lantern, and I quit using it. Well, wouldn't you know, my rash went away in about 2 days. Now, I don't know what it was in that oil. Maybe I was allergic to whatever it was sending out into the air. It was only on my face, it wasn't anywhere else on my body. And my dogs didn't seem to be affected. But then again, you can't always tell with a pet if they just slightly don't feel well. Sometimes you can, but My dogs just seemed like they were just being their normal selves. So I thought there's something about these lanterns or these lamps. Um, it makes sense. They're burning this oil or um, fuel into the air. And sure, the directions say use in a well ventilated area. Well, somebody tell me what well ventilated means. Does that mean one window halfway open? Does it mean two windows partly open? How big a room is well ventilated? What if it's 20 degrees outside? Um, that is subject to your own personal view. And that to me was scary because what if I assumed my cabin was well ventilated and it wasn't, and I didn't wake up the next morning? Well, that scared me too. And I realized that this damn lantern wasn't safe at all. And I also realized the obvious. How many times do we knock our coffee over without thinking? Maybe reaching for something else, or our dog, jumps up and puts their paws on the table and something goes flying. And how many times do we, just innocently enough knock things over? And I thought, what if I ever did that while that thing was lit? How would I put the fire out? I wouldn't. I wouldn't be able to contain all of that spilled oil, and my house would burn down. So I realized that even though something has packaging, safe to use, safe for indoor use, um, I never used those lanterns again. And I actually brought them to the recycling center and emptied out all the oil in a separate container. And I'm just interested if any of you ever had um, experiences such as mine, and maybe I was allergic to the chemicals in the air, but irregardless of whether I was allergic or not, I was still breathing um, a certain amount of chemicals, and that made me extremely nervous. So yes, I do have a wood stove, but it is a brand new 2020 wood stove with a catalytic converter, which actually is a secondary burn designed to burn the smoke. So it reduces greatly the amount of output and emissions. And many of the old wood stoves, which do not have a catalytic converter, do poison the environment. And I'm sure there's many, many out there that were installed years ago. But I believe now that there are emissions guidelines that they all have to meet today's standards for that. So I'm just curious. I did receive a comment the other day asking me if I either had I can't remember what they exactly said, but did I have a lantern or an oil lamp? And it reminded me of what happened. And let me tell you, it's really scary when you have this extremely painful rash on your face and the doctor doesn't even know what it is. What they gave me for treatment did not work. It only went away when I quit using the lantern. And I will never use them again. The only thing that I do enjoy is one single candle at night, and I have one of those little enclosed candle holders, so that if by chance it does tip over in its little holder, it's contained in a little glass container. And I never go to sleep while it's still burning. I never leave my cabin while it's still burning, even to get a few pieces of wood. Even just for a minute, I don't do it. So that reminded me, I'm glad that that person commented about using a lantern. And yes, they are beautiful. They look very appealing. And oh, there goes a butterfly. And maybe some of you have used them for years and never had anything happen like what happened to me. But that told me that there was a chemical in the air, an irritant, um, that was poisoning me. And if it's on my face, it's in my lungs, right? And I'm breathing it. So there you go. Be careful of products that say they're safe. Use your common sense. Be careful. And even if you buy a product that says it's safe and your gut feeling is telling you that maybe it's not worth it. Don't use it. No matter how pretty it is or um, how romantic it might be to light one of those at night. No, I'm never going to use one again. So that's my story on on candles. And I also had bought a Mr. Buddy heater, thinking it would be great to have a backup in case anything ever happened to my wood stove. And that is powered by propane. And that again needs a ventilated area. And it's very popular with RVs. But the problem with that is that it uses oxygen out of the air and it depletes the oxygen. And they are so very dangerous if you ever use one for many hours in an enclosed area, and never fall asleep with one on. Never. And it's not too rare to hear about people that have used them, that have either developed severe headaches, become ill, or even worse things have happened. So I don't like the idea of having any chemicals in my house, especially flammable ones, and it's just not worth it. So I'm interested to hear if you've ever used these lanterns, and I am very curious if you've ever had any kind of reaction that I did or became sick from them. So that's just my product review on these things. And honestly, I don't understand how they can sell them and say they're safe to use, because if they ever tip over, you can't put the fire out. How are you going to clean up all of that oil that's burning everywhere? I don't understand that. So thanks so much for all of my subscribers. My channel is continuously growing. I'm so thrilled, and I enjoy coming up with a new topic every day. And today I'm going to take the dogs out for another beautiful hike, and I've got another video in mind. It's going to be extra fun for me to talk about because I get an extra kick out of sharing something that I did and something that I continue to do. And as always, I hope it's helpful to all of you. So I hope you're all having a great day, and thanks so much, everyone. Take care.